It's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, I'm going to have a busy day today for live, so I wanted to come on now and talk about the search for Gus Lamont, the little 4-year-old who disappeared completely from the homestead where he and his family live in Australia, very remote sheep shearing station. Little update on him. They are searching the dam on the property, but also very dramatic development that one of his GMAs reportedly, allegedly, has taken a gun to a Daily Mail reporter. There's probably a lot of people would like to take a gun to a Daily Mail reporter, but it is a little bit extreme, isn't it? And so we're going to talk about that. Was Gus's GMA justified in doing that? Because it must be really irritating having reporters turn up at your door. Mainstream media reporters, let me hasten to add, who are so down on social media, etc. But they're the ones that are going around knocking on people's doors. So we're going to talk about that. And then later on, I will be doing a live about this dramatic, seismic event in the history of the British monarchy, as Andrew has been stripped literally this time, or will be. Charlie Boy has started a process to remove his title of prince, but his daughters, Beatrice and Eugenia, they're still going to be princesses. How's that going to work? It's absolute chaos, I think, at the moment in the British monarchy, and I hope to God it leads to the end of all of it, all those parasites and PDF lovers. They've all of them liaised and entertained and knighted PDFs, Rolf Harris, Jimmy Savile, etc. It's endemic in the royal family. It's not just Andrew. He's just the one that's the scapegoat. But he's not the only one who's done anything wrong. But we're going to look at that later anyway. And then later on tonight, I'm not sure exactly what time yet. It all depends how things pan out. I will be doing a Halloween video, which is nothing about true crime or anything like that. We'll be talking about I'll be telling you some stories of the paranormal and the supernatural, and you will be telling me whether you think those stories are true or false. Some will be true and some will be false. At the moment, all the ones that I've found are true. I'm trying to find some false ones, or allegedly true. So that will be later on today. So that's the program for today. All going well and all being well. I will be on twice more today. Sorry about that. I know some of you like watching me, and thing is, those of you that are out there who don't like watching me, what are you even watching for? But yes, so if you do like watching my channel, then hopefully 3 lives today will be going out. So, at the end of the day, it's early in the morning yet here in Spain, and things can go wrong. But that's the plan. So, but we're going to start off talking about Gus. And this is a very serious subject, isn't it? I mean, when a 4-year-old boy disappears into the ether, literally not a trace, not a chispa, nothing of it has been found of little Gus except one boot print, which again is mysterious, isn't it? Because how does one boot print get found? Where's the other boot prints? Did he just take one step? It's just strange. And that's what we're going to talk about. So Gus disappeared. It's about a month ago now that Gus disappeared. He was allegedly playing on a heap of sand or outside his house. One of his GMAs was there in the house. So he has 2 GMAs, Gus, because his grandfather transitioned many years ago to become a woman. So, and the other GMA stayed with him or her. So, Gus is lucky enough to have two GMAs, two grandmas, and they live together with Gus's mum on the homestead, on the sheep shearing station, very remote area in Australia, miles away from anywhere, very dusty, just very barren sort of land, it's like, where has he gone? Where could he possibly have disappeared to? So apparently, Gus's mum was at the sheep shearing station with the other GMA, and this GMA, I think her name's Josie, she was looking after both Gus and the other little boy, Gus's sibling, at the actual house part of, where they live. She saw him one minute, he was there, and then she went out and he was not there. It was around 5 o'clock in the evening, one Saturday evening, and since then, no sign of Gus has been found. The police believe, or what the police are saying so far, they believe he simply wandered off and some accident has befell him. So they're draining, as we speak, they drained the dam. There's a dam on the property, and we're going to have a look at that and look at how they're draining it. And you can see, when you see it, gosh, if he was in there, he could quite easily be, because it has been searched before, but nothing was found. It'd be difficult to find a little boy's body in that, because there's a lot of underground vegetation, etc. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. By the way, my banner, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. A special thank you to my members. We had a great members live last night. We went back in time a little bit with Jonathan Ross. And we watched a little bit of Thriller, the Michael Jackson video, but then, of course, YouTube. They don't like it when you play music, so they decided to be party poopers. And we couldn't watch the full video. So, anyway, but we had a good time anyway. Special thank you as well to anyone who buys me coffee or sends super stickers, PayPals me, emails me, leaves nice comments. Thank you so much. So hello to lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. Hello to replay crew. Thank you for watching. And more than anything, thank you for caring about Gus. And now let's see. Let me just take off the banner. David's in the chat. Hi, David. David's always brave enough to come and say hello and leave comments. Don't forget, you can leave any comment you like, your opinion about what's happened to this little boy, as long as you're not, nasty or attacking people. I mean, we've all got our theories. This is a very mysterious case, just like the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, or any other, Sebastian Rogers, Madeleine McCann. You just hope some answers are going to be found for the family, and of course the family are under suspicion from the court of public opinion, if not from the police. I mean, the police say there is no suspicion on the family, but the police, they're not going to tell us if there is. And it may be that this family's got nothing to do with Gus's disappearance. It could be, it's an unconventional family. But really, these days, what is a conventional family? You've got the two grandmas living together. You've got the mum living there with the two children, and the father, Josh, he lives quite a distance away, and is allegedly he doesn't get on with one of the GMAs. He's supposedly doing up a house for them all to live in, I suppose. I don't know. So we don't know, speculating about their family circumstances is just speculation, but it's natural to do that. It's natural to speculate about motive. Is there something, anyway, we don't know, but I'm just presenting to you what's going on. We want to keep Gus's name in the spotlight, if you like, because people care about, we should care about little children that go missing, whoever they are, not just Gus, but, all of them. And we can't talk about all of them because unfortunately they go missing on a regular basis. But of course, when it comes to the public's attention, and certainly international attention, like this case, it's the mystery of it, isn't it? It's the complete mystery of it. And yeah, I agree with you, David. I think of in the beginning, I definitely thought accidental. So, he's wandered off, maybe he's got lost, but I still don't think he'll have wandered far. And to me, the water is the likeliest explanation. That they sort of, obviously, we don't want them to find Gus deceased in the water. But having said that, it's better than never finding him, isn't it? The best case scenario is that maybe his father has taken him, though I can't see that can have happened because I think that the GMAR would have heard a vehicle. Apparently it's not easy to access here either. So I don't think anybody's taken Gus away, which is sad because that, after a month, if he's still there on that property somewhere, he cannot have been sustaining himself. A 4-year-old cannot do that, can they? So anyway, I don't know, but let's have a look. So there's a couple of things. First of all, I just want to show you. Yeah, let's have a look at this. So this is what they're draining. This is the dam on the property. So you can see there's a lot of vegetation in that water, isn't there? So when they searched it, not to be too graphic, but apparently when somebody drowns, and children do get attracted to water, don't they? If Gus did fall in and sadly drowned, they go to the bodies go to the bottom, don't they? Apparently, and although this has been searched, he would have been difficult to find in all that vegetation. Even though it doesn't look that deep, the dam, it'd be deep to a 4-year-old, of course. Look, these guys, they're up to their neck in the water. So for Gus, it'd be very deep. But of course, he's just tiny, isn't he, as a 4-year-old? So it'd be easy for him to get caught under vegetation. It'd be easy to miss him. Anyway, I'm surprised they haven't done this before. It's taken a month to drain this dam. You might think that maybe that was one of the initial things they should have done, certainly within the first week, because if there's water around, it's always likely, isn't? I know with the Sebastian Rogers case, they did drain there's a water retention pond thing. They did drain that very early on, earlier than a month anyway, and nothing was found. But yeah, surprised they haven't done this before. But anyway, they're doing it now. And as we speak, they're probably doing it. As far as I know, when I came on air, nothing's been found. It probably take them to, it's, what time will it be in Australia now? It's probably coming into the afternoon now time, is it? If any of you are out there in Australia, let me know what time it is. I think there's a 4-hour difference or something like that. But anyway, so as far as I know, they haven't found him yet or anything. So, but they haven't said that they finished looking either. So let's just, then there was, I saw, where's it gone? Yeah, this is a good video that shows the dam and what they're up against. Let's have a look at.
They've used helicopters as well as drones with infrared imaging, but to date there's been no evidence or any trace of Gus found on this sprawling 6,000 hectare property. Police have returned today to Yunta for the second time since 4-year-old Gus went missing late last month. Police today are focusing on a dam located on the property, roughly 600 metres from the family homestead. That dam is roughly 4.5 metres deep. It was searched the first time around by police divers, but they have said this time that they are going to drain the dam entirely and conduct what they have described as a comprehensive visual search of it, and being able obviously to get a better idea of what's happening.
So did you see that then when they were pulling all, so Miss Luna there, who I presume is in Australia, thank you for that information, said he hasn't been found. So it's 7:48 p.m. Is that it? Is it finished now, that search? Or are they going back tomorrow to just finish it off? Is that it? You know, is he definitely not in there? So where is he? You know, where is this little boy? Because you know what takes me by, you know, it's not. I mean, it's a massive area to search, but it's quite an open area, isn't it? You know, surely if he was anywhere there, the amount of searching they've done, etc., surely they would have found him, because it's not an area, a wooded area, but there are trees. I mean, he could be anywhere, couldn't he? Bless him.
Under the surface of the water, seeing obviously whether there's any vegetation.
So look what they're having to do to go, you know, under the vegetation. I mean, it's a horrible job, isn't it? Horrible job. I mean, you know, these are heroes, these people, unsung heroes, because to do that, what they're having to do, literally practically on their hands and knees in that water, and what they're looking for is the body of a 4-year-old. So their best results, if you like, the result, you know, is to imagine coming across the boy's body. I just think my heart goes out to them as well. It must be, it's a very difficult thing to do. And, you know, because really at the end of the day, you're looking for a body. That's your best case scenario, to find a body of a 4-year-old boy, or what's, you know, what is left of it, basically, to be brutally honest, after a month. So, you know, I saying a special little prayer for these people, because that is a difficult, you know, who'd want to do that job? I mean, just awful. But it's a very important job, isn't it?
Underneath as well.
And these men or women, they've probably got children themselves. It'll all be going through their head. It makes me really emotional, because it's you sort of almost want them to find him, just so that the mystery is cleared up for the family. They're not going to spend, you know, the next 30 years wondering what happened to Gus. But of course, it's still not a good result, is it?
Police have already been at this property twice, along with State Emergency Service crews, as well as the Australian Defence Force. They have covered approximately 470 square kilometres over the course of 14 days. This was done both via ground searches and also aerial navigation. They've used helicopters as well as drones with infrared imaging, but to date there's been no evidence or any trace of Gus found on this sprawling 6,000 hectare property. Police have returned today to Yunta for the second time since 4-year-old Gus went missing late last month. Police today are focusing on a dam located on the property, roughly 600 metres from the family homestead. That dam is roughly 4.5 metres deep. It was searched the first time around by police divers, but they have said this time that they are going to drain the dam entirely and conduct what they have described as a comprehensive visual search of it, and being able obviously to get a better idea of what's happening under the surface of the water, seeing obviously whether there's any vegetation underneath as well. Police have already been at this property twice, along with State Emergency Service crews, as well as the Australian Defence Force. They have covered approximately 470 square kilometres
It's
over the
amazing.
course of 14 days. This was done
Where can this boy
both
be?
via ground searches and also aerial navigation. They've used helicopters as well as drones with infrared imaging, but to date there's been no evidence or any trace of Gus found on this sprawling.
So, no joy. So, what's the next step? Now, we know from other missing person searches we've seen it took 21 days, I think, to find Nicola Bulley over in the UK. Jay Slater, it took longer than that, didn't it, over in Tenerife. You've got Travis Decker, it took months to find him, despite repeated searches. And, so we know it's not easy. You think it would be easy, wouldn't you, to find a body, especially in an open area like this one. But, of course, Gus is so tiny as well. But apart from that boot print, that one solitary boot print, nothing has been found. So his hat hasn't been found. There's been talk about maybe him being taken away by an animal or something, but there's no, there's normally some evidence of that, isn't there? Surely his hat would have fallen off, if nothing else. I think the hat is if, at the end of the day, if somebody's clothed and an animal takes them off, well, it's possible that the animal might, especially with a little thing like Gus, the animal might take, the whole sort of the body and the clothes. But a hat surely would fall off. I don't know. Nothing has been found, so it all seems, very odd. And I agree, Angel. Hi, Angel. I feel, the dam was a good, a likely prospect, wasn't it, for poor little Gus to have fallen in the dam. And he's got to be somewhere, and I don't believe he's far away. I don't think he would have run. Most children, I know that they can run, and especially children of that age. But how far would he have gone? I mean, he's been brought up on that sheep station. It's probably been drummed into him not to go far. Why would he have gone any further away from that? I mean, he could have done, and he could have got lost. I mean, that's a possibility because it all looks the same, didn't it? Maybe he just couldn't find his way back to the house. I just don't know. But anyway, so now this latest thing is the Daily Mail. Now, we watched a video yesterday of that Daily Mail reporter going to Gus's dad's house. And you remember I said, oh, gosh, fancy just turning up there, like no appointment, no nothing. Anyway, Gus's father was not there. The property was abandoned. So it was that reporter, do you remember, the one that reminded me of Nadine Dorris? She then said, didn't she, she was going off to the homestead where Gus lived with his two Gmars, his mum and his sibling. And anyway, she did go, and she's got she spoke, I think, to one of the Gmars first of all. We're going to read the article anyway. And then the other Gmar, Josie, came out with a gun, really angry with this reporter. Now, of course, the Daily Mail have made a big thing of this. They've got photos of this Gmar with the gun. They are quite scary, I think. But the thing is, I don't live in a remote property like that, so I don't know, how can I explain it? She was trespassing on their property, but did Gmar Josie go too far by getting a gun out? Or do you think, is that because she's just had enough of all the media? You can see they're a very private family. They haven't wanted to come out and make any appeals or anything like that. It took a few days before they even released a photo of Gus. So they're not a family who are looking for help. She said to the reporters, you can't help, go away, basically. So that reporter turning up at the door unannounced like that as well. So she's going, oh, I'm going off to talk to the family. But she didn't, like, she hadn't contacted. What you do is you contact them first, surely, and say, are you interested? Would you give an interview? And because we can put out information about Gus. And at the end of the day, the mainstream media, they can help with awareness, etc. But you have to be sensitive to what people are going through. And she said, oh no, I'm just going off to talk to the family. And this is the mainstream media who criticizes social media. If that would have been a TikToker who would have been there, they would have been all over that. It's like, oh, TikToker turns up at family's home, disregarding their appeals for privacy. But it's all right for them to do it. So Nadine Dorries lookalike, she went over there and really irritated the 2G Mars. But I think the 2G Mars, Josie is a bit more fiery, I think, at the end of the day. And she's the one who came out with the gun. So we're going to let's look at the article. And it makes you wonder, what would you do if it was your family? You shouldn't bring a gun out, of course, but, these are people that live in a different, I couldn't take a gun out because I haven't got a gun. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but yeah, it seems like an overreaction, but, that this is, and look, I mean, it's a very scary photo, I think, because of course this is the Gmar who's transitioned many years ago to be a female. Looks absolutely scary. I mean, we can see that, very muscly Gmar. Does look scary, that photo, doesn't it? So, and basically, she has played right into the Daily Mail's hands, really, to be honest, to give them a headline. And, it is going to attract attention. Of course it is. When I saw it, I thought, oh, my God, it went out with a pump-action shotgun. Not only a gun, but a pump-action shotgun. Now, she didn't shoot it, of course, but she brandished it. So basically, I do think that what it is telling us about this Gmar is she's got temper. She's got temper. That's what it does tell us. And that, to me, is a little bit of a red flag. Now I understand. I honestly do understand why she would be angry, and she's probably had enough. She's probably worrying about Gus. She's probably feels a bit responsible because he was in her care when he disappeared. So, I do understand all that. Hi, Blue. But I do, I do feel it's a bit of a red flag. It shows a big temper problem. And again, we can only say like what I feel I would do, but I've never been in that position, so I don't know what I would do. Is that I would be angry and say, look, you're trespassing, don't come back, we've got nothing to say. But brandishing a pump action shotgun, I mean, it is a little bit over the top, isn't it? It's a little bit OTT, I think we could say. But maybe literally she has had enough. Maybe she hasn't slept for a month. Just don't know. So the grandmother of missing boy Gus Lamont has waved a pump-action shotgun at a Daily Mail reporter who inquired about the ongoing search of her grandson. So look, it makes it sound like it's just a perfectly simple inquiry, but gosh, it was pretty muscly, this Gmar, isn't she? I mean, bloody hell, look at the muscles on that, my God. So she's quite intimidating. So apparently, senior reporter Jonica Bray, that's the Nadine Dorries lookalike, arrived at the remote property near Yunta on the sweeping outback plains of South Australia on Thursday to ask the family if they wanted to share their story. She didn't have to go all the way there to ask them, did she? So she went there and she took a photographer. They were looking for a story, obviously. That's what they do. That's what reporters do. And they took the photographer. And unfortunately, Josie played a little bit into their hands, didn't she? Because they got what they wanted, which is a picture of the irate trans grandma with a pump action shotgun. They got the story they wanted. So anyway, apparently she'd offered her condolences to Gus's other grandmother, Shannon Murray, who declined to comment. And that's it, you declined to comment. And apparently she was leaving the property when the weapon was pulled on her. Let's have a little look at this video.
Mieten Sie Ihr Auto bei Carjet und sparen Sie Geld bei Ihrer Reise. Einloggen, das passende Auto wählen, buchen und die Reise
I don't know why
beginnt.
that's in German, that a bit. Look. Oh dear. Yeah, but I mean, I don't blame her for being angry one bit, but to bring the pump action shotgun out because the dog's there, she's very intimidating. Shut your face and get out.
We'll have the police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Now get out! Get out!
Now, I think, how do I get back to that? I think if she hadn't taken the gun out with her, it would have been just, anybody would understand that she would be angry because they'd been told by the police not to go and they still went. But it's the fact that she had the gun with her, isn't it? It's the gun that's hi, Shay. It's the gun that's made it worse. I don't think anyone would blame her for going out and shouting at them, telling them to go away, saying they were trespassing. Nobody would want a Daily Mail reporter at their door, would they? Or not many, some families do react differently and they want publicity, but this family has made it clear they do not want publicity. They do not want people there, etc. And they've made it, they couldn't have made it any clearer, really. So she was angry, and I'm not surprised she was angry. I'm trying to show the video again, but it keeps jumping around. Oh, why does it keep jumping around? Anyway, never mind. Where's it gone? Anyway, we'll watch another. Where is it? Daily. It's decided to disappear for some reason. Never mind. Decided to disappear. There it is. I'd just like to watch it one more time before we look at some other articles about it. We probably have to have an advert.
Mieten Sie Ihr Auto bei Carjet und
Yeah,
sparen
an
Sie Geld
advert
bei
in
Ihrer
German. I have
Reise.
no
Einloggen,
idea
das
why
passende
we have
Auto
it
wählen,
in
buchen
German.
und die Reise.
Yeah. So if she didn't have the gun with her, it wouldn't be so scary. I mean, it just seems to me that's somebody who's just at the end of their tether, And you can understand it, because at the end of the day, Gus was in their care when he went missing, so she's going to feel like shit, isn't she? Just basically, they've made it perfectly clear they don't want reporters around. They're very private people, and probably due to the complicated nature of their domestic situation that they are, that's probably why they're very private. But they sort of, they have, I do think she's played into the Daily Mail's hands.
We'll have the police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Now get out! Get out!
Yeah. Unfortunately, played into the Daily Mail's hands. They'll love it that they've got that footage. And of course, everybody's going to watch it because it is, dramatic, isn't it? So she was, and so what the reporter said was she was leaving the property at the time. She'd already spoken to Shannon Murray, the other GMAR. She declined to comment. She was on her way leaving the property. And as she walked back to her vehicle, according to her, Josie Murray appeared from the far side of the house, clutching the firearm in one hand and a bullet case in the other. So that's very intimidating. She shouldn't have done that, really. But anyway, who are you? She demanded, brandishing the weapon. And Josie's wife, Shannon, explained she had the situation under control. However, when Miss Bray appropriately identified herself, Josie appeared to become enraged and waved the gun around. Get out, you're trespassing, get out, she yelled. Are you deaf? Get out. And Miss Bray replied that she was leaving already. Shut your face and get out, Josie yelled back. Both the reporter and the photographer who accompanied her then left the property. So it wasn't only the reporter, but she took her photographer with her as well. And you know what? They got what they wanted. They got this picture, this footage of Josie looking very intimidating with a gun in one hand and a bullet case in the other. So they got what they wanted, unfortunately. So, and there she is going back into the house, holding the shotgun. I mean, she's not best pleased, is she? You can tell that she's really angry. Anyway. So the altercation happened hours before South Australia police announced that the search for Gus would resume for a third time on Friday. And despite 2 previous major search operations, the 4-year-old has not been found. So, yeah, only thing found, the footprint in the red dirt, believed to match the boots he was wearing when he disappeared around 5:30 p.m. So they've done the search of the dam. Nothing's been found so far. This poor little boy, where is he? And this is the area that So Gus was playing here somewhere, just outside like the house, in a makeshift sandpit on the homestead. Where will he have gone? I just don't believe he would have gone running around there. Just don't believe it. I'm sorry. I think he's closer to home, whether it's an accident, whether there is whether there is any foul play, I don't know. But the thing is, I still don't think he's far from there. I just don't believe that he's gone far. It's not, I don't believe this little boy's going to run off. Unless he was frightened by something. Unless something frightened him. Why would he run off all that distance? I just don't believe it. He's lived there for 4 years. He knows he's probably told him to just stay around that area. So I just don't understand why he would have run off at all. So that's the dam again that they've searched. 4.5 meters deep, and nothing been found so far. And Gus's father Joshua lives 2 hours away. And he'd been renovating that home in Bilali North. And we saw that video yesterday when that same reporter went off there without an appointment. But the house appears to have been deserted. We talk of a deepening rift between him and the rest of the Murray family. Josh has been banned from the homestead, one friend told the Daily Mail. There's a lot of emotions and things have been said that can't be taken back. So he apparently, Gus's father, had been staying at the homestead just before Gus went missing. And Mr. Lamont's concerned mates have begun doing quiet welfare checks at his house, worried about his mental state. We don't know where he is and we're worried we're going to find him dead out there, the friend said. He's angry and heartbroken. He will never recover until he knows what happens. And unlike the Murrays, those who know Mr. Lamont describe him as outspoken and fiery and not the type to stay silent. Things like this can affect people in different ways, but Josh speaks his mind and always has, and there he is. He's probably hiding away from the press as well. I wouldn't blame him. That's his house that's being renovated, probably for the children, for the family. And yeah, we saw yesterday that this guy, this friend of his or someone who knows him said, I don't think he will ever return now. What's the point? All those plans they had together. Well, he's still got, even if the worst has happened to Gus, he has still got another child. So he still needs a home to live in. I don't know where that child is now, the other child, Gus's brother. I mean, if it turns out that place where they've been living is dangerous, he needs to get the other little boy out of there and into a sort of more normal house. Anyway, and then, they were saying that he'd clashed with Josie. He wasn't happy with where the children were being brought up, etc. There he is, and that is little Gus's mum. Okay, now, that's the Daily Mail's version of what happened, of course. Well, it's not their version. I mean, we can see a video. We can see Josie did bring a gun out. At the end of the day, she did bring a gun out and she played right into their hands. It's a shame, really. But I want to look at another video. Let me just put a couple of windows down. So this is what the police have condemned the Daily Mail for going round there. So and they shouldn't have gone, of course, but she did play into their hands. So let's watch this news video.
South Australian police have publicly condemned an interstate reporter who claims Gus Lamont's grandmother threatened her with a shotgun.
Police say the Daily Mail employee was trespassing on the distraught family's property as search teams were launching a fresh hunt for the missing 4-year-old.
A deep pool of water 600 metres from the home of missing 4-year-old Gus Lamont. Police determined to get to the bottom of it.
We're going back through every aspect of the search.
Today, authorities emptied 3 million litres of water from the private dam.
Just out of a sense of thoroughness, we'll continue to search for Gus for as long as it takes.
It's been 5 weeks since the little boy was last seen, and emotions at the private family's outback homestead are running high.
Shut your face and get out!
A tabloid reporter from Interstate getting a frosty reception after ignoring repeated warnings to stay away.
We'll have the police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Now get out! Get out!
Gus's grandmother photographed holding a firearm, but the Deputy Commissioner insists she was using it not to threaten, but to kill a snake on the family's porch.
I think that everyone would say that is, completely okay.
What, she was using it to kill a snake on the family's porch? Right, well, possibly. That's, but, I don't know. I mean, maybe, it just seems to me, did she not realise that these people had a photographer there and they were going to, they're going to make the most of it. So anyway, So now suddenly she was killing a snake. She was going to use it to kill a snake on the family's porch. Well, I can't possibly comment.
Police say Gus's grandmother did nothing wrong and warn they'll take action against anyone who trespasses on the family's property from here on.
This is completely disgraceful conduct.
In Yunta, Lauren Rose, 7 News.
And Lauren joins us live from Yunta now.
And Lauren, police have confirmed that nothing was found today.
Will once again search teams return to Adelaide empty-handed. There was speculation that weeds at the bottom of the dam could have held Gus's little body down, but there was no evidence he was ever there. So the millions of litres of water drained, a precious resource for any sheep station, has been pumped back into the dam. It certainly feels like every time there's a glimmer of hope in this case, it fades away.
Let's just watch that one more time and then I'm going to wrap
South
it.
Australian police have publicly condemned an interstate reporter who claims Gus Lamont's grandmother threatened her with a shotgun.
Police say the Daily Mail employee was trespassing on the distraught family's property as search teams were launching a fresh hunt for the missing 4-year-old.
A deep pool of water 600 metres from the home of missing 4-year-old Gus Lamont. Police determined to get to the bottom of it.
We're going back through every aspect of the search.
Today, authorities emptied 3 million litres of water from the private dam.
Just out of a sense of thoroughness, we'll continue to search for Gus for as long as it takes.
It's been 5 weeks since the little boy was last seen, and emotions at the private family's outback homestead are running high.
Shut your face and get out!
A tabloid reporter from Interstate getting a frosty reception after ignoring repeated warnings to stay away.
We'll have the police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Now get out! Get out!
Gus's grandmother photographed holding a firearm, but the Deputy Commissioner insists she was using it not to threaten, but to kill a snake on the family's porch.
I think that everyone would say that is, completely okay.
Police say Gus's grandmother did nothing wrong and warn they'll take action against anyone who trespasses on the family's property from here on.
This is completely disgraceful conduct.
In Yunta, Lauren Rose, 7 News.
And Lauren joins us live from Yunta now.
And Lauren, police have confirmed that nothing was found today.
Will once again search teams return to Adelaide empty-handed. There was speculation that weeds at the bottom of the dam could have held Gus's little body down, but there was no evidence he was ever there. So the millions of litres of water drained, a precious resource for any sheep station, has been pumped back into the dam. It certainly feels like every time there's a glimmer of hope in this case, it fades away.
Oh, there you go. Police say she did nothing wrong. I think she just overreacted and she'll probably regret it now. But I do think what it does show is she's got anger issues, hasn't she? You know, at the end of the day, she did look very intimidating and very scary. Now, I understand she's probably at the end of her tether. She was in charge of Gus when he went missing. She'll feel like shit anyway. She's probably not slept for a month wondering, what has happened to Gus and where is he, etc. But I do think that video, if nothing else, does show that she has got anger issues. So the other GMA was trying to calm the situation down. And whether she was shooting a snake on the porch or whatever, she shouldn't have been there brandishing a pump action shotgun. A reporter, even though that reporter is a piece of shit really for turning up there, in my opinion, but there you go. She's just given the Daily Mail exactly what they wanted, hasn't she? She's given the Daily Mail exactly what they wanted, which was that video footage, the photos of her brandishing the shotgun. It makes her look like some crazy person. And maybe she is. And now the police, though, have come out and said, oh, she did nothing wrong. But, you know, the police might be trying to just calm the situation down. The police are probably really irritated with the Daily Mail, because if Josie is a suspect in the disappearance of Gus, you know, the police won't want other people interfering in their investigation, will they? So this mysterious case of this little boy gets more and more mysterious, and now we can see that the GMA, Josie, has got anger issues, real anger issues, and has got pump action shotgun, you know, to kill snakes on the porch. Now, no, I think this is common in rural areas. I know that, you know, it's like there's probably anyone who lives out there who's got pump action shotgun to kill snakes or whatever animals around and that. But it's not a good look, is it? It's not a good look. And I do feel like the Daily Mail, they were clever, really, weren't they? They went out there and it was like bear baiting, really, wasn't it? Like baiting this woman to come out and do that, and they got exactly what they wanted. Okay, I'll let you know any more developments. Of course, I'll be back, as I say, twice more today. One to talk about the crisis in the royal family in Britain, and I will definitely be back then at some point this evening with a Halloween special. Okay. Thank you for caring about Gus. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God, as always, go with you.